Welcome, gods and goddesses, creators, to All Things Spirituality with yours truly, Maria Palomino, a sacred sanctuary that speaks the unspeakable and lets you in on the secrets of spiritual awakening. Introducing self-discovery, soul awakening tools that helps you remember your soul's true purpose to start manifesting a conscious reality. Every soul is unique, meaning no spiritual path is the same. Feel every conversation and let your mind, body, and soul guide you to what is unique to only you. It is the soul's resonance of remembrance. Now, take a deep breath, drop into your heart, and let us begin, beautiful souls creators. Hello, gods and goddesses. It's Maria Palomino. How are you? I am actually shooting today from Manuel Antonio in Costa Rica. Just finished Kundalini activation process facilitator training, and it was just incredibly powerful. But today we have a beautiful episode. I'm going to be talking about inner child healing. I actually did an inner child healing masterclass right before I left Bali, which was extremely successful. So I'm going to give you some tips, a little bit quick summary of what I talked about in that masterclass, and also have the link for you so you can look at the PDF. You can look at all the questions that I have. It's kind of like it's a workshop in a way for you to identify where it might be where you are having false beliefs. Where are your wounds? And how is it that you're self-sabotaging yourself? That's why the power of sharing is so, so important. But before, as usual, before we do anything in this beautiful podcast, All Things Spirituality, we're going to tune in, drop into our heart to be able to receive the message and get out of our way to allow our highest self to step in and to be able to resonate with what truly resonates with our heart, with our innate self. So just bring yourself to a place where you can sit down. If you're driving, just tune in. No worries. Don't close your eyes. So close your eyes. If your back straight, it's even better. Hands on your knees. Take a deep breath. And release twice through your mouth. Once again, take a deep breath. And release twice through your mouth. And I just want you to just feel the air that moves through your nostrils. And just follow it and see where it travels to. As you become more sensitive to your breath with the vital life force, literally can take you away to bliss. And just 10 more seconds here following our breath. Putting in our intention for today, what we want to get out of this inner child healing, which is why you're clicked on this episode. And one of my biggest recommendations, because sometimes we don't know, there's just something about it, and that's beautiful. Sometimes I think that's even better because you're allowing yourself to just open up to the unknown. Whatever is best for your highest good, the highest good of you and the highest good of all. And take another deep breath, and we're going to chant Om. Oh God, welcome back. Just slowly start opening your eyes. It's amazing how just a quick, what was that, 2 minutes? I don't think it was even 3 minutes. What a difference it can make. Welcome to the sacred space where your inner child can open up and reveal all the secrets of your subconscious to be able to rewrite them and change your future. Yes, we need to go back to our subconscious, to our childhood that's present right now and give it another story. But first, we need to identify or even be aware that that exists within us, that there's a child inside that may be feeling pain, that may be resentful, that may be angry, that may be feeling abandoned, feeling shame. And how do you start reparenting your inner child? So be more aware of it. And how do you start talking to it? So then you can step into your self mastery. And once you have self mastery, you really become the magician of your own reality here in this lifetime that we have. I'll just tell you a quick story about myself. I'm a child of abandonment, but I could have not have said this a few years back because I would have never seen myself that way. To me, that sounds very weak for me to say it. I mean, if someone else had told me they were, I would feel compassion about it. But when I started noticing that and I saw it, it was very, very hard for me to accept it during that first week that it was coming up. And the reason why it was so hard for me, because I had worked so hard since I was 3.5 years old to really put on this shell and put up my walls because my mom left when I was 3.5 years old. My dad was already gone. So I lost my best friend. I lost my first everything. So I became very independent and putting on all this armor around me to not allow anyone else to penetrate in and hurt me again. So I remember I was very much tomboyish like, and I would always rebel or wanted to do things on my own to the point, even as I grew older and even within career, it was very hard for me to allow others to do stuff, even if it's for me, because I wanted to do it on my own. And he would, even if they did something, even if I wanted them to do it, when they did it, it would still bother me. And now I understand why. And now it's the complete opposite, especially now that I finished this, the CAP training with the Kundalini activation. I want to work with other sisters and brother. I want to work together. To me, collaboration is just phenomenal to be able to share that magic, helping people heal through energy work or just with anything. That's why I'm doing the podcast. And I love reaching out to people reaching out to me so we can share our stories because the power of sharing, it's so powerful. I know I've had many little awakenings just from hearing other people's stories and having an aha moment. Yeah, you know what? I can do better. I can relate to that. I should say sorry to this person. That's still open that I haven't healed. So it's very, very profound. So inner child healing for me has been transformational because after I accepted the fact that I do come from abandonment, so right there, I saw what my limiting beliefs were. I saw how I was wounded, and I saw how I was self sabotaging myself consistently. So I could only reach a certain level of happiness because it's all about accepting yourself fully, 100%. And that's when I came out of the victim mode. Because once you get out of your victim, you can be the magician and take accountability for your life and say, I own it. If you don't own everything of you that you have done and everything that you've lived, that is, it just doesn't make sense. So then you're in the victim mode. If you're in the victim mode and you blame everyone and everything for what is happening to you, then how is it that you're in power of what you are creating in this life? Nothing is a coincidence. And actually, on the next episodes to come, there is going to be this powerful story that we're going to tell that really talks about how things are not in coincidence. More of that coming up. So let's begin and talk about why inner child healing a little bit more. How is it that our inner child knows all our secrets and holds the keys to our painful subconscious that's not allowing you to live your wildest dreams? Because as part of our subconscious, that means that's what's running on autopilot. You don't even think when you're reacting. It's the same thing that you don't even think when you're walking. You don't even think, am I going to use my left leg? Am I going to use the right leg? That's an autopilot. That's part of your subconscious. Even when we drive, sometimes we say, wow, how did I even get home? I was thinking of so many things. That's your subconscious. The same thing's happening with your inner child. That inner child is running your life. So we're going to make friends with it. We are going to gain its trust. Because if we haven't talked to your inner child, why would they tell you right away just because you came one day and you say, hey, here's some love for one day? It's been abandoned for many years. So now we're going to come back and let them know, hey, I'm here with you because you're both working together. You're both one. So we're going to talk about what are your biggest dreams. So let's start with that first. Start thinking about when you were a child, what were your biggest dreams? What were your biggest inspirations? Go back to that moment when you were young. We were so full of magic. We literally thought that money grew on trees because most of us just kind of got what we wanted. Most of it, the number one thing that we wanted was just love. We don't even think about money, or we'd look at other people and we kind of like fascinated and create magic. We looked at people that are healthy and running and we said, oh, I want to be like that person. I want to be strong, on cartoons that you saw on TV, role models that you had, or maybe you saw beautiful exotic places of beaches and mountains or monuments, and you said, hey, I want to go to Machu Picchu, I want to go to the Fiji Islands, when you were young, and you saw you and your family together, like maybe loving, and you just wanted to hold on to that. Where did that dream go? What did your child want it to dream, well, dreamed about? Because that's still there. That has not gone away. That dream's still there. And most importantly, you can still fulfill that dream. So, what are some benefits of actually going in now, of actually discovering what are with inner child, reconnecting with your inner child? What's going to help you is really going to help you deepen the self love, accepting and being grateful for all your experiences, raising your happiness level, aligning your ideas with your actions. It's going to help with mental clarity. You're going to have much sharper focus, better direction. What's really good is like, how are you getting this better focus and directions? Because you're going to learn how to prioritize so much better. And you can move through much quicker because it's a kind of that intuition, I should be working on this first. And that's what's going to get you moving. We sidetrack ourselves sometimes because we're just not confident on what we should do. It's going to really, this one's the most powerful one, I think, for me, strengthen your relationships. I mean, we're here to relate with other people, to share with other people. We grow. The way that we grow is through our relationships. So learning how to navigate our emotions, because every time we come in contact with another person, emotions come up. And learning how to navigate those emotions are key to be able to strengthen their relationships and also set healthy boundaries. So healthy boundaries is another benefit. And yes, it is more than okay to say no. This is something that we have not been taught because our parents made us do things whether we wanted them or not. We felt like we had no choice to say no. We do have a choice. So respecting our heart's true desires and really trusting our intuition. If something feels wrong, kids are very intuitive. Like we know if something doesn't sense right, we can read high vibration, low vibration, something that's sticky. So going back and really setting those healthy boundaries. And the hardest one is just how this healthy boundaries with, it's hard to set with our lovers, our parents, our siblings, because we've been taught that we need to say yes, we need to be there for them all the time. But you can give from an empty cup. And sometimes you're not the right person and you know it. Maybe they do need some type of professional help, or maybe they're using you as a crutch to be able to avoid them facing their own problems and then them stepping into their self mastery. So it's not, you're not being true to yourself, and they're not helping themselves either. So it's a loss situation. And then also increase your work motivation. And what I mean by work is whatever your passions are, whatever it is that you want to fulfill. Um, it's for us, for a lot of people, especially in the Western world, we think of work like something that's tiring, that is going to like deplete you. It doesn't have to be that way. Like I love what I do, what I call my work now. We're working with the podcast, meeting different people, doing my healing work. And that's because when you're more aligned, you're going to be doing something that you love, that you're passionate about, and that it gives you more energy. So that is when you connect with your inner child, you connect with your magic. That's what I've been asking. What are those dreams that you had when you were young? So rediscovering your passions, going back to your passions and see what fuels you, what ignites you. Those are all great benefits. Doesn't that sound right? Very important. I'm going to give you a quote from Lao Tzu. Watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Watch your words, for they become your actions. Watch your actions, for they become your habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for they become your destiny. So how have those thoughts, those words, those actions, those habits, that character you're creating and the destiny that you're living now, how has all that been an aftermath of your inner child experience? Yeah, think about that. So let's talk about what happened. Why is it that you're thinking that way, that you're speaking this way, that you created this habits, that you created this personality, this identity that now has become your destiny? And you say, oh, well, this is what I got. This is the hand that I was dealt. Well, that can be changed. So, what false beliefs, conditionings, programming, culture, parents, traumas, society, you have television, news, all of this have not allowed us to express our true, genuine selves, because these are all programmings. I mean, even when you turn on the TV, you ask, what do we want? What program do we want to watch? And you guys have seen The Matrix too. You can download anything. So it's very important, everything that you're consuming and our blueprint for our whole life. It's from ages of 3 to 8 years old. And that is when we're most fragile. And that sets the blueprint for the rest of our lives. So think about your upbringing. What culture did you have around? How did your parents raise you? What traumas did you have? What was the society like? What were the community like? How were your friends like? What what did you watch on TV during that age? Did you guys watch a lot of news growing up? We sure did, religiously in Peru. So think about, because these are all conditionings that are happening. So we don't even realize, and all of a sudden they're telling us, even with cartoons, we should be this way. This looks pretty. Everyone, is loving this person, this God, this community. So we're not, everything is external, 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 not really going into ourselves. So it's basically us telling us, oh, I feel this way, but this is what everyone else is doing. So you're negating whatever may be inside. And even if you go to school, there's usually one kid that, since they don't fit in the cookie jar where everyone has the same shape, the same roundness, the same amount of chocolate chips, then we say, oh, well, they don't fit in with us. Like, why does everyone have to be and look and dress the same? What is unique about you is the gift that you're bringing to this world. It is your own vibration, it is your own music key that you're bringing in, and that is the gift. So once we go in and rediscover ourselves, our genuine selves, that we can start offering that gift. Here's another quote from John Bradshaw, and he wrote, "The greatest wound a child can receive is the rejection of his authentic self. When a parent cannot affirm his child's feelings, needs, and desires, he rejects that child's authentic self." And we're not here to blame society, culture, our parents. They did the best that they could with the upbringing that they had. And I don't know if you've noticed, but with every decade, with every new generation, we are becoming more loving. We are becoming more gentle. We are becoming more understanding. We are. I mean, look at the millennial generation and the new ones to come. No one wants to fight anymore. We were very barbaric before. And that still lives within our genes. But every time we're evolving, because all roads lead to unconditional love. Ultimately, we're here to learn how to love unconditionally. And that starts with loving and accepting ourselves first. So here are some false beliefs. Once again, I'm going to have a link where you can see all the false beliefs that I am mentioning. So this can be a little work in progress for you. So think about any false beliefs. See if you resonate with any of this, any false beliefs that could be blocking your success. One, I can't be my real self or I'll be judged. I can't fall in love or I'll get my heart broken. I can't tell the truth because I might get judged. I don't want to ask for what I want because what if I get rejected? I know this is a big one. I can't trust people because I've been betrayed before. I can't pursue my dream because I don't know what I'll do if I fail. A lot of us are scared of failing. There's no such thing as failing. And that word, I mean, I kind of want to even remove it. Everything's an experience. We're learning. Everything's a work in progress. It's too late to pursue my dreams. Oh my God, there's so many stories of people that found their passion when they're in their 40s or 50s and their 60s. It's never too late to pick up a new hobby and just fulfill it. Maybe you think that the universe out to get you. If you think this, then we're probably on the victim mode and we really need to work a little bit more. I feel that I'm unworthy of love. So really right here, like if you feel like there's something unworthy of love, because we weren't accepted wholly for ourselves when we were little kids, that's where it's coming from. So really digging in and starting to give our inner child so much love. Change is negative and must be avoided. We're so scared of change because even if we don't truly like what we're living right now, guess what? It's relatable. We know it. At least we know how bad it's going to get. So we're scared of the unknown. So it's comforting at the same time. So, and then you start hearing things like, well, the grass isn't always greener. Yes, it can be. Definitely. The other one is, I must have the approval of others to have self-worth. And this is a big one. Talking to people like how often, I'm not even thinking about, we're always looking for the approval of our parents, of our lovers before we do anything else, before even we check in with ourselves sometimes. Or we do something just because someone else is going to, like, it's like, wait, do I really want to do this? I am powerless to influence the outcome of a situation. I am who I am. I cannot change. Some of us just kind of give up. So then we create this thought, this belief, and we're very strong about it when we speak about it. If I fail, I am unworthy and deserve to be punished. And this is very much in various religions, especially within Catholic. You can't, everything, it's conditional love. You're loved and you're accepted and you're part of the tribe, you're part of the clan, you're part of the community if you do A, B, and C. If you perform a certain way, otherwise you're casted out. So yeah, no one wants to be alone and abandoned. We all want to be with the tribe. So think about those belief systems, which ones resonate with you. There's so many more. Here is a quote by Louis Hay, who many of us love. We learn our belief systems as a very little children, and then we move through life creating experiences to match our beliefs. Look back in your own life and notice how often you have gone through the same experience. Yeah, this is powerful. Life is not linear, it's spiral. Then that's why usually as you get older you start questioning, because you start seeing the same stories repeating themselves. And that's good, that's beautiful, because it brings you where you are now. You're seeking, you're trying to understand why you're living the same thing. Like, how do I get out of this rat race per se? I don't want to relive the same lesson that's coming through. So now you understand the belief. Now let's think about what are some wounded signs that maybe that you're feeling. So now you have these beliefs, and because of these beliefs, how is this causing you pain? How is that there's a wound in there? How do I feel? So here are some of them. I am a people pleaser and tend to lack a strong identity. So these are the wounded signs. So this is what you believe of yourself that's holding you back. I'm a people pleaser and tend to lack a strong identity. I'm a rebel. I feel more alive when I'm in conflict with others. I tend to hoard things and have trouble letting go. I feel guilty about standing up for myself. I feel inadequate as a man or a woman. I'm always driven to be a super achiever. I feel more responsible for others than for myself. That's a big one. How many of us is so much easier to give as opposed to receive? So think about with everything that I've just said. Everything, life is a balance. It's an art of balance. We live in a world of duality. If we didn't live in a world of duality, we wouldn't exist as human beings. So it's beautiful at the same time. So our job is to bring this world of duality into a beautiful equilibrium, into a beautiful balance where it's a give and take, where we're learning how to give, but at the same time, we know how to receive. And we do that when we relax and surrender. You're not supposed to carry everything on your shoulders. Like, why do you feel that you need to be that one? So then, I mean, that's a very specific wounded side to work with as well. I'm more anxious. I feel anxious. I feel alone. I feel stuck. I feel fearful. I feel abandoned and alone. Another one is I'm an addict or have been addicted to something. A lot of it, sometimes it's also, doesn't have to be harsh drugs. It can be also foods. For some people, it's sweets. For some people, it's carbs. It can be cigarettes or maybe excessive of drinking alcohol. Everyone has different types of addictions. So it's a way of putting our attention externally as opposed to going in. Like, we're trying to fill in something where there is a hole within us. But remember, we are complete and we are whole already. It's just remembering. I avoid conflict at all costs. How many of us play that card where, oh, I'm fragile, don't talk to me, I might start crying? Or you don't give an opinion, or you're quiet purposely. All right. So people know, they're like, oh no, let's not, we can't do this to that person because they're fragile. They're just not made for that. That's a very strong card you're playing too, because that's a form of protection as well. We want balance, because also when we play that card, We're not speaking when we want to speak as well because you've built this identity and this character. Another one is I never felt close to one or both of my parents. When it comes to inner child healing, it is always going to go back to your parents, your mother, your father. That is your lineage. That is your biological tree. So it will come up. And we are a product of our parents, whether they're biological parents, the people that raised us, our aunts, our uncles, all the influencers. And things happen when we're little. And sometimes it can be the same thing that's happening from one child to another, but the way that they interpret it, it's incredible because I've done with my clients, I've done a lot of inner child healing. And it's very interesting to similar situation how one child may act completely anger and it's furious. And here's another one, and they just feel resentful and that, that they've been betrayed, but they're not necessarily reacting. So then that creates a different personality as well for the same type of situation that happened. And sometimes the situations can be very, very that you would think, you're just playing, but it's just how the child interprets it. It can be something as you didn't want to give them they're taking a bath and you didn't give them their rubber duck or something, or the rubber duck went missing, and he's so close to the rubber duck and now he wants the rubber duck, and in his head the child creates this tremendous story. So hey, guess what? There's a trauma right there. So we are humans. We came to live these experiences. So this is all just part of life. And when you see it that way too, it's so much lighter, and enjoy your inner discovery, your inner journey. All right, we're still on wounded signs. I'm ashamed of expressing strong emotions such as sadness or anger. How many of us haven't cried for a long time? Crying is so freeing and so healing. Sometimes we just can't express our emotions. It's so numbed. We're numbed, but that maybe I should feel something. Everyone else did. And I'm not saying you should something, but you know best. Inside the deepest part of me, I feel in the deepest part of me, I feel that there's something wrong with me. I have trouble starting or finishing things. I think this is a big one for some of us, or we take too many things at once, right? Because we're about to finish a project and we self-sabotage ourselves and all of a sudden start another one because subconsciously we're scared of what the outcome may be once we do launch this project. Like, why are we not showing and sharing our gift or whatever it may be with everyone else? Because we feel we're going to be judged again. People are not going to like it. You're afraid of failure, whatever it may be. But these are wounded signs once again. And we do this subconsciously. I rarely get mad, but when I do, I become rageful. This is a big one when we're passive aggressive sometimes. Or sometimes we just don't say anything. Sometimes the relationships that people have, they have a partner that's very quiet. They're like, oh, how's everything going? It's fine. It's fine. Or the person never says anything. But one day, one of the partners come back and their partner is gone because they didn't even give them a sign. I'm like, God, I feel like those are the most dangerous ones. At least I would want to know, like, if something's going wrong. But if they never share how they feel inside, you're literally blindsided. The other one is I have sex when I don't really want to. Why would you give your body, your essence, your most sacred organ to someone where a lot of energy is being exchanged if you don't want to? Why do you feel obligated when you do not need to? So these are all wounded signs. So see what you relate to. There's many more. Once again, I'm going to give you a link so you can take a look at this and give some check marks to it. So what is happening when we have this belief patterns that have been conditioned to us our whole lives because of community or parents, society, TV, cartoons, if they mean. Now we have this wounded sign, woundedness that lives within us. So we're self-sabotaging ourselves. So there are patterns that start happening. So that's when people start going into this inner journey because they're sick of their self-sabotaging patterns. So when we actively or passively take steps to prevent ourselves from reaching our goals, that is self-sabotaging. When we actively or passively take steps to prevent ourselves from reaching our goals. And a lot of it is unconsciously too, or sometimes we have our barriers to have, so we consciously actively do it. Some of those self-sabotaging patterns may be a procrastination, chronic worry, worrying for no reason. Like you just have to create a reason to be anxious and to worry about something for no need, because maybe that is what makes you feel comfortable because you live that way. So that's comfortable, because if you're not worried, guess what? Some new opportunity may come in that's unknown and you don't know where it's going to take you. Substance abuse, chronic lateness, always being late for some reason, not wanting to arrive on time, stress eating, it's a big one. Fear of intimacy, really having those strong conversations, speaking your truth with someone else and being vulnerability, commitment issues, not wanting to commit, putting yourself down. I see people do this consistently, and I used to do it to a much larger extent myself before. But now I'm much more aware because like I've said this before, there are two ingredients that the universe has to give you whatever it is you want. And it's your self-belief. So what is living within you, so that's your vibration, and your thoughts. So whatever you're thinking and what your beliefs are, and that's what you speak. So when you're speaking and you're saying, I am the S word, for example, and I see people doing this, like not even thinking like it's a bad thing. Like, why would you call something that's lower, that's degrading, that's not uplifting? But whatever you put in after I am is so powerful. You're telling the universe that. And guess what? That's coming back to you strongly. Think about how you speak, and how you say, oh, I'm poor, I don't have money. So think about like it's already happening. Like really, like everyone that has become very powerful, in a humble way, whatever it is that they believe in, and they've reached greatness, is that was already inside of them, and they just took action to make sure it happened. The right opportunities started coming along. So this is why we're saying, where are our wounded signs? Um, Ignoring negative emotions, this is a big one. We don't want to feel pain. I mean, I understand that, but it is in rewriting that story that's causing you pain and seeing it as a gift where you are growing, that is allowing you to soften your heart, to feel compassion for yourself and others, and learning how to forgive. And that is what makes you not only stronger, resilient, but it allows you to become closer to unconditional love. The other one is criticizing partners. We self-sabotage our relationship. We criticize our partners, not just our lovers, whatever partnership you may have. Instead of having a very healthy relationship with them and just speaking our truth, we tend to just badmouth them. You don't like something, just talk to them, like a normal human being would. And we do this because we're scared to just have that conversation. So what does that say about you? Right? So that's why we're saying it all starts with you. Holding grudges is a big one. So just working through that, because, and when I'm saying all of this, think about your inner child. How does your inner child feeling if you're holding grudges the whole time? If you're giving it substance abuse, you're holding grudges, this little child feels stressed out, full of anger, whatever it may be. Of course, it's tired, it's confused, there's no clarity, can't prioritize. because it's so heavy. You're having trouble stating what you need, just speaking our truth. We blame others when things go wrong. And this is what causes wars. This is what has caused so many disputes that we've had in the world because we don't allow ourselves to step in and see it from the other people's eyes and also agree to disagree and respect everyone's reality at the same time. It's a fine line that we're walking in. But as we all start working on ourselves, continue loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, vibration is going to raise so high. It's going to be so much easier for all of us globally to come to agreements because we're all going to be wanting and creating the same thing. The other one is dating people who aren't right for you. How many of us date, you know, have a relationship, it doesn't go right, you break up with them, you bring in a new partner. I mean, different name, different face, same story, same experience over and over again. So instead of their name being John, now their name is David, whatever it may be, but you're living the same story. So they're not the right person for you. Why is it? And remember, like energy attracts like energy as well. So as you create a better relationship with your inner child, as you start healing these wounds, as you start being more aware of what are the beliefs, what are the conditionings that are coming in you, and what is it that you want to so what do you want create in your life, and you start identifying the self patterns, your vibration is going to come up quicker. Your inner child is going to start revealing secrets to you and telling you why is it that you're behaving this way. One of the biggest reasons why people self-sabotage is lack of self-esteem. Why is that? Like we said before, we're not allowed to be our unique selves when we're little. We don't want to be the one that's called the weirdo. We don't want to be casted out. We want to be part of the tribe. We want to be part of the clan. And this goes back, all the way back to our ancestors, always working together to be in a community. So we all had to do the same thing. So it's just being passed on. And it's okay, it's helped us be where we are right now. So now we're just changing the game. So what is really key is just balancing our life. This inner child within us controls a whole wheel of life. Our wheel of life in our health, in our friends and family, in our finances, in our fun and leisure, in our spirituality, in our love life, in our personal growth, in our career. So you see, the whole balance of your life is having this relationship with our inner child. It's so powerful. So what we can do right now is I'm going to go more into detail. You can look at the self-mastery class as well, to do more of a meditation. I have another link for an inner child meditation that I'm going to put on for you. This is what I would love to you if you feel called to start identifying, what are some of your false beliefs? What are some of your inner woundings? How is it that you self-sabotage yourself? And we can start by writing a letter to your inner child. Write a letter to your inner child, introducing yourself. Hello, dear. If you had a nickname where you were little, maybe name it that way and start telling them exactly how you feel. And it's going to be interesting because you're also going to sense if your inner child's ready to talk to you, to not talk to you. Maybe it's ready to reveal secrets in your dreams, because all it is you're connecting to your deeper self. In order for us to change our future, we have to change the past. It is the law of reflection. The past dictates our future. So if we think that we were hurt, there's still traumas that still live in our past, or we look at we're still like living, being mad with our parents, there's things that you're still mad about that they did, and we don't heal that, then you're carrying that vibration. And that is what you're attracting more of. So whatever you don't want anymore because there is resistance, that is what you are attracting more of. That's why inner child work is so good. So write a letter to your inner child, because once you start creating a different relationship with your inner child, it tells you what is it that you may be mad about. And then you're able to change your future because now you've made peace with it. So writing a letter is the first step. I'm going to give you the link for the meditation of the inner child as well. And then what I do and I offer is it's one-on-one classes. It's a complete package. We don't just do inner child work. I teach you about energy, um, the universal laws of the universe. I mean, all 7 of them and how that relates to your chakra, your energy wheels in your body. And then we go into inner child work. But in between sessions, I'm doing energy healing. And now I'm also offering Kundalini activation process transmission, which is the art of surrendering. So it's very complete. And we go more in depth because when we're doing long-term work, and I love working with people for over a month, you can see the change. Because like I said, everything, it's a program. So it's very important where your energy is. What is it that you're consuming, not only internally with food, but with what you're hearing, from, whether it's coming from music, television, friends, social media is big right now. Everything that, it's popping up in your phone. Because everything's about inner love. So basically, we go through my inner love program that I have as well through my one-on-one teaching. So more than happy to be able to support you in any way. And I hope that this inner child process, so you to understand why it's so important to really connect with the inner child in you. And it has helped me tremendously. Every time I feel like I'm all of a sudden getting mad and I'm holding anger. It's like, oh my God, like, what am I doing to my little girl inside? I feel like she's starting to get, really small and her head starts tucking in. And also on my podcast that I talked about my 3 days in solitude, in the dark room for 3 days and only water fasting. It was so beautiful, the relationship that came through with my inner child and everything that she revealed and how she came through. And I started singing for her, like songs that I have never sung before, just for her. And something that's been helpful for me too, that I recommend is having, if you have your toy when you were a little girl, fiber has memory. Everything has memory. Even if you watched it, that's okay. But I started sleeping. I had a baby Belle, which is the female version of Snoopy. And, she usually travels with me too. And just creating that relationship with my toy when I was little. And then also you can find a picture when you were a little girl and have it on your phone. That's key. Have it on your phone because you're going to remind yourself every time you open your phone and you see a picture of you when you were little, because that little child still exists with you and tells you, oh, okay, how am I treating my inner child today? And just waking up and saying, hey, hello, inner child, how are we doing today? So thank you. Thank you so much for today. Any questions that you may have, any way that I can help you with energy healing work or one-on-one classes, I'm here for you, sending you so much love, so much light. Remember that you are the magician. You are the God Goddess creator. Be very aware of how you use your words, for the universe is listening and creating your reality. I love you all. Light and love. Thank you, beautiful souls, for listening. Visit my website and subscribe to our monthly newsletter to be updated on the latest healing programs we have available, such as self-love, inner child healing, energy healing sessions, and one-on-one coaching. Plus, starting March 2022, I will be a CAP certified facilitator, That is CAP for Kundalini Activation Process. And we'll be having activating virtual sessions as well as retreats around the world. So don't miss out and be the first to find out to secure your spot, since they will fill out quickly. Don't forget to like and subscribe to receive your latest dose of heart-opening medicine. Light and love.